Hello to you all as Christmas fast approaches. We can see the festivities in the streets. The lights are shining. The rain is falling. It is completely dark outside and has been for like the last 3 goddamn hours. Where has the sun gone? Come back, man. Honestly, like, where is the sun gone? Why does it abandon us so readily in the face of December? And with all that happening, my God, what an atrocious week it has been for us over at the Preach Gaming team. With hardware malfunctions left and right, Emma's PC is now affected. Good stuff. Something is happening to the electricity in my home. Something ponderous and disgusting is happening with the electricity in my house. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. We've had a vote, which I am not talking about. I'm not. The last time we mentioned politics, even in a little bit, people got really, really pissed off. So there you go. People got like so angry. We even had to take down a video and re-edit it to get rid of it. So I'm not saying nothing, man. I ain't saying nothing. It's happening. It's happened. I did vote. I did my bit. As if we did the bit. So that is the situation as it's unfolding. However, it's not why you're here today. Real world's all fucking heavy, man. The real world's so fucking heavy. It's so heavy all the time, man. No matter where we are, some shit's going on. What we can talk about is the end of year is coming. And with the end of year, there's lots of fun things happening. I've been signing contracts all week. How is it possible, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, that e-signatures are okay? They're convenient. But, I mean, anybody could fill those in, right? Literally anybody can fill them in. But I have had to read through so many contracts today and sign them and send them off for all good things happening in our wonderful new year. All cool things happening, but that doesn't mean the end of year is over yet. It's not. In fact, with our streaming capabilities hampered this week, we managed to pull out the cameras because I had free time during the day to get stuff done. And I have prepared a lovely festive video for you guys, which should be finished tonight. And I think you'll really enjoy it. I think it should be super fun. So we got the cameras out and we had some fun with that. And it should be good. It should be good. That's all I'm saying. But remember, next week, next Saturday, 8 p.m. GMT, Mr. Noble will be here for the web show, the Christmas Drinking Game web show, and potentially some other visitors may be coming. To have some fun and celebrate the end of year and the passing into a new expansion. Maybe. Yes. The word spread that we were having a Drinking Game web show. More people may or may not come. I can confirm Noble will be here because it's his birthday as well as mine. But that's about it. That's all I'm confirming for now. But we'll see on the day. We'll see on the day who can come. It's extremely short notice. So we'll see. I wasn't planning on anyone else coming, but the question was, can we come? Can we come? Can we come? So that is exactly how that is going to go down. So moving forward, it is, of course, drama time. That's why you're here today. And you might hear the children in the background. That's because they're here because I'm filming something with my wonderful children for a video immediately after this. So Emma has them on standby before they go to a Christmas party. Ooh! All right, let's get into some drama time then. What's the worst possible scenario you could find yourself in BFA? I mean, if you really wanted to, like, hurt yourself mentally, what's the worst possible scenario you could put yourself in? I'm going to type it for you. Essence grinding? No, this is way, way worse. I'd wager that those abbreviations right there are literally some of the worst combinations of things I can imagine happening to a person. If you were to honestly choose to take part in such a situation, then it's on you. Because let's judge it. It's 5 a.m. The only people playing WoW at 5 a.m. looking to do a Pug Mythic Plus are literally just like the bottom of the barrel. They're either all people who work nights and therefore they're drunk, probably, or just like wide awake and can't sleep although the sun's coming up. It's also going to be M++9. There is no There is no slimier, dirtier, filthier, most uninhabitable place in the universe than a pug +9. +10 is better. +9 are all the people trying to get to 10 that keep getting slapped. These are all the people who can't quite make it to a 10. So you go into a 9. And that's not what you want. They just cannot get to that 10. They can't make it. And of course, it's a Mythic plus pug. So that's pretty grim. That's a pretty grim. All right, then. Let's find out what kind of people we would find in such an environment. I'm sure they're all joyful, very normal, sociable people at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. My dear Mike and my dear chat, I hail from the land of cocky blondes and heavenly racks, as well as good-looking ladies. That would be hashtag Team Swee. I have not been to Sweden, but I'm told it's got lovely vistas. Let's put it that way. Got lovely vistas. This all occurred in a total of 40 minutes. And it left me as a loss for words. But y'all 5 a.m. PvEers are crazy fucks. 5 a.m. PvEers. If you do Mythic Plus, you're not a PvEer. That doesn't tag you in there. I am more of a PvP guy. You know what I mean? That's how I like to roll. But since PvE gear is the most broken thing ever since like Wrath of the Lich King DKs in PvP right now, I'm going to have to do some keys to get some gear in it, mate. So I'm going to have to go and play with them PvE people who do like scripted content and that. That's all they do. So at around 5 a.m., Team Swee time, I found myself a +9 siege. Siege of fucking Borealis +9. The description of the run. The description of the run, the wonderful tagline below this +9 said this: mate, anything below 420 item level is a void. I thought, because I'm a shadow priest, I'll be hilarious. And I said, hey, I'm shadow, so everything's a void around me. Got him. The group leader then proceeded to give me a 4-paragraph rant on why he had written this description. Because idiots who are low item level should not be signing up for high keys. +9, by the way. +9. Big high keys going on tonight, mate. 5 a.m. Big keys. Pushing. +9. Push. I was in the group. I was above the standard, but I decided to throw some more jokes at this lovely person. And I said to him, hey, you seem to have a lot of emotions tied to this. Do you want to join me in my office tomorrow at 3 p.m. to talk about it? To which he replied very matter-of-factly. He did not find the humour in it at all. Excuse me, but here it is currently 5:30 a.m. It must be 3 a.m. for you since you're still using the term tomorrow. Thus, I have concluded that you are on a different time zone. Got to admire the science behind that. You got to admire the science behind that. I like it. 3 a.m. is still the same day, though. Just want to point it out. Just want to point out, 3 a.m. is still current day. It's not yesterday. 3 a.m. still isn't yesterday. But I'm tired. I'm tired. And I've worked with kids who are disabled, and that's what I would be doing the next day. So I decided I'm simply not going to try and talk to this person at all. I'm going to leave him alone. Whatever, dude. I am way too keen on cracking a joke, and in my experience in this area, they don't often land. Nothing wrong with that at this time of night. We'll just leave it be. So it takes about 20 minutes for us to put the rest of the group together, talking about life and when we're going to get started with the guys already in the group. I'm stood by the summoning stone, an amazing undead male channel animation on my screen as I'm bringing the group together, when I noticed that our beloved group leader walked right past me into the dungeon. He then hits me in the pink. Mate, get in the dungeon, you pleb! I haven't got all night to wait for you. I mouse over. He's the only one in the dungeon. I don't think he knew where the summoning stone for Siege of Borealis was and why I was stood outside. But by the by, we're going to let it be. Sooner or later, we're all inside and we're ready to kick off Siege of Borealis 9. Siege of Borealis 9. Now, I admit, as I said, I'm PvP, mate. And honestly, though, real talk for 1 minute, who the fuck does Siege of Borealis? It's nice, Siege of Borealis. It's a good run. As you can imagine. Where did he wipe him? Our author 100% wiped this group. Where did he wipe? Shark? Not to the Sharks. The Shark's a good guess. Shark is a solid guess, but first boss, yeah. First boss. First boss, of course, yes. I instantly wipe us on the first boss, as me running into bombs with a giant smurf didn't occur to me. I instantly expected a snobby comment, of course, from our glorious leader. And surely enough, this Demon Hunter leader did in fact pipe up. But it became very apparent he didn't know why we'd wipe. Excuse me, Hunter. Why didn't you use heroism on the boss at the start using your Hunter pet? I believe, mates, he hasn't even got the Bloodlust pet. Pretty sure he's not. Hasn't even seen it summoned. His Hunter's pet was disabled. And he didn't heroism. So we wiped. That's why we wiped. There you go. Of course, our loving Hunter explains that it was my fault that we wiped. And it has nothing to do with whether or not we popped heroism. I, of course, have now learned that the bombs go well together with the boss chasing you. And boom, smash, the boss dies on the next pull. Good times. Our leader is not happy, though. He's not happy at all now we've come back and one-shot it. He's not too happy with our Hunter's response. It's pretty clear he's been preparing a retort to the Hunter. Hunter, thy lie, mate, thy lie. You simply forgotteth to heroism with your pet. You forgot your pet was disabled. Of this I am sure. Word for word, he started throwing in old words into his sentences. If Hunter's pet was active, you could have heroed, but I believe you do not even own 2 pets. It was at this point the rest of the group just started to question whether we'd lost our minds. Or whether it was just him. Were we wrong or him? I, for one, believed I'd gotten schizophrenia and was seeing things reading these sentences. I would like to point out that most of our leaders' novels had been cleaned up by me in hindsight, shortening them for the sake of the story, but keeping the very same haseth and thys in there for my lady. However, in a sleep-deprived manner, we're all more or less responded with, what? Lol? The fuck? To everything he was saying. Our leader then did not take kindly to this. He doesn't like being mocked. He's trying to add some gentlemanly sentences. Trying to up our game, maybe, in his mind. And now refuses to go on with the dungeon. He started to demand that he would not go on unless this Hunter apologise for lying about whether or not his pet was active. The Hunter, however, seemed to realise that he was dealing with the kind of person who has a Demon Hunter main. He decided to be the bigger person. It's 5 a.m. I CBA. He says, okay, sorry. Can we go on now? Absolutely fucking not. Now that the Hunter had admitted his fault, the Demon Hunter decided to explain that he had the power to remove the Hunter from the group. He had put this group together, and he alone could kick the Hunter. He said he was strong enough to 4 mana plus 9. It was at this point our Hunter did the only reasonable thing. Lol. And left the group. Of course, the rest of us just left shortly after. So whilst I was standing there, now 6:10 in the AM, cock in my hand, Wind blowing on my bare ass. In a +9 siege, about to be teleported out. All I could think of was, what the fuck is going on? And I still don't know. I hope you all enjoyed my little clown fiesta, where one person was not only a clown, but a whole circus unto himself. And of course, for those of you out there, it was a fucking demon hunter main. Thank you for your little tale. Now, I have a treat for you. Now, I don't want to start a trend. I don't want to do that. But we're about to ask the question, how do you leave a guild, right? Gingy's in the chat. We can ask him. He's been dying to leave his guild for years now. Now, you might think sabotage, steal from the guild bank, do all kinds of crazy things, right? But now people are including audio of the ways they left the guild. So I'm going to give you fair warning when it's about to happen. Fair warning. But you might want to just monitor your headphones if you're a headphone listener. This is going to get brutal. This is going to get brutal. I also do not condone this, but it is pretty funny. All right, how to quit a guild. Let me tell you what you don't do. How to quit a guild. Question mark. All right, so we're asking the question, how to quit a guild. Let me answer it for you. Let me answer it for you in a real simple way. I'm leaving the guild. Just letting you know this is why. No hard feelings. See ya. That's it. That's all it takes. You don't need to come up with some sort of middle of the night exodus. You don't need to sabotage everybody who ever existed. I don't think we need names for this one, so we can keep it as that one. Right then, so this is a little short story. Boring. Okay, well, it's not going to be boring. Hello, preachy boy and the chin. You like it, don't you? You fucking like it, don't you? Look at it. You can fucking plant a sausage in there. Look at that. I can balance literally 4 hot dogs inside my chin. Easy. I've been watching Drama Time for God knows how long. And I've just been too lazy to send in a story. A lot has happened in my lengthy WoW career, so here's a somewhat short and sweet one for you to get started. This all began midway through Uldir. Fuck, I forgot about Uldir. Uldir is so blocked from my memory, it's crazy. I don't even remember that I rated that to you. My guild had fallen apart due to leadership, neglect, and I was now searching for a new guild with my partner. For anonymity's sake, you don't need to name yourself. But the guild we're going to call, what should we call this guild that we're leaving? What should we call this guild? All right, we'll call it Method. Perfect. Excellent. Good suggestion, everybody. All right. We're searching for a guild high and low, as our taste for guilds is niche, to say the least. We love hardcore banter and a guild that rewards dedication and performance. As normal as these criteria sound, it's very hard to find when you aren't looking for super hardcore mega guild. They expect you to be online. Pretty hardcore stuff. Enter the guild Method. We joined this guild as they were desperately looking for a healer, which is me. And they were willing to take in my partner, who was a Frost DK, so they could have a healer. Regardless, as long as they would get a healer, we're in. They also, from the outside, appeared to tick all of our boxes. Semi-hardcore, banter, fair, the usual shit. But this was far from the case internally. We quickly learned that just after a day of raiding with them, there was a very, very tight-knit group of friends and lovers sitting atop the guild. And of course, that sweet, sweet loot council. And we just as quickly found out that the banter, the jokes, non-existent. No. There'll be no fun during raids. The only people who were allowed to talk during raids, as a guild rule, were the officer team. Any members who started to talk or joke during raids were told to be quiet. The entire raid pretty much just consisted of them having fun with each other while the rest of the raid got on with their job. I mean, why wouldn't you stick around? Sounds really good. It sounds like a tip-top guild. I don't think we get the level of difficulty these guys do, but I want to say it's heroic. Maybe that's judgmental of me. Maybe I'm a bad person. I feel like it's heroic. I feel like it's heroic. They also enjoyed lecturing people on their class and roles when they themselves, to put it bluntly, were fucking terrible players. And you could probably imagine, ladies and gentlemen, the loot council was anything but fair. So the next few weeks we tried to stick it out and see if anything would come of it. But to our huge surprise, this was basically like playing corrupt dating simulator. Officers trying to chase down any girl of their dreams. I was discounted from the Instant Girl Officer Promotion Project. Wow, if you're a girl, you get straight off to officer. Because I was taken. All the single ladies, you're an officer. Wow, that's quality. No, what do you mean, ooh? What are you saying ooh for, right? This way we can figure out who's single, yeah? You got to figure it out. Application needs to come with a good book recommendation of your relationship status. Sounds good to me. It became increasingly insufferable. Hey, author, quick message, as my chat is probably pointing out to you right now. The fact you didn't quit that guild after one raid is on you. Honestly, it's on you. You decided to stick it out for weeks. Weeks. That's on you. But there was a straw that broke the camel's back. This does actually tie to method. Okay. One of the officers began berating me, yelling at me and flaming me for not moving out with Vectis' debuff when I had too many stacks. The problem with this was, it wasn't me, but it was actually the new female officer who was in my group playing the same class. Now, why does this relate to method? Okay. I want to point out, none of the people in the current method are a part of this story. But on my trial run, during my tenure, small tenure, during Wrath of the Lich King. Ulduar was Wrath of the Lich King, yes. On Flame Leviathan, I was playing a Warlock. And I had to go onto the Flame Leviathan and do the fucking turret things, right? That was my job. And then somebody would pick me up, probably someone like Gingy, would cruise around, sunglasses on, big chicken in hand, pick me up when I got thrown off so I could be thrown back on. Easy, easy stuff. Right. I'm stood on Flame Leviathan, doing my thing, when suddenly one of the officers of Method, who's no longer in the guild, starts screaming at me. Like, fucking screaming at me. Now, here's the problem. I'm a trial, and I wasn't 100% sure that I wasn't doing something wrong because their method, right? Their method. And they should know if I'm fucking up, right? So I'm being screamed at that I'm doing it wrong. I don't know what they're talking about, but it's going, preach, you're, like, completely fucking retarded. Like, what in the fuck are you doing? So I'm like, okay. I just voice up and I'm like, okay. I get thrown off Flame Leviathan. I get picked up. I get thrown back up to continue doing my work. Once again, I start getting screamed at by this officer. Like, screamed at really loud. At this point, though, I've come back to my senses. And I'm like, he's not talking about me. Whoever he's talking about is not me. And I just said to him, it's not me. It's somebody else. So I carry on, and the fight goes on, because it was obviously 4 towers. And I'm back on Flame Leviathan again later in the fight, and he starts screaming at me again. At which point, the mic in me kind of kicked in and took over from WoW Trial. And I keyed up, and I went, shut the fuck up! You're talking about the wrong fucking person! And he stopped talking then. To which actually inspired the rest of the team. And big love here to a man named Mr. Justwait, who also keyed up saying, you're talking about X person, you dipshit. And they all started giving him mega shit for it. And it actually turned into a big bonus that apparently ended up in my trial thread. Doesn't take shit or something like that. That's what was in my trial thread. It was like, won't take shit. Which I was thumbs up with. But I was fucking fuming, dude. This guy was like berating me. I was stressed. I was on trial. And I wanted to do well. And this guy was like shouting my name, giving me shit. I was like, the fuck, dude? Shut up. Yeah, annoyed me. Call him out. No. He's not there anymore. He's not that team. I mean, fucking hell. Who's still there from Wrath of the Lich King? Skull. Roger. Just wait. I think that's it, right? Something like that, Gingy. Something like that. There's like 3 people left from the Wrath of the Lich King team. I think Perfecto, maybe. Oh, Perfecto might have been Mop. But that was, yeah, that was a thing that happened to me. It worked out well afterwards, actually. I made good friends with some people, which worked out good. However, I tried to tell them it's not me, and they could check the logs, bro. Check the logs. That was no longer the problem, though. The problem now, apparently, was that I was trying to blame other people. So it's no longer the fact that they were wrong. Their issue now is that I voiced up, and I'm trying to blame other people. Especially that the person I was trying to blame was one of their innocent waifus. So, fuck it. I'm leaving the guild. I'm fucking done. I've had enough. Whatever. Time to come up with a plan. As my old guild had fallen apart, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the story, the Discord was still pretty active with the memers. The memers don't leave a Discord. Memers never leave a Discord. You invite a memer to a Discord, he's there for fucking life, dude. He'll be there when the fucking Discord server shut down for the last time. Those memers will be there. So I pop into my old Discord. Sure enough, the memers are there. I say, look, I'm leaving this guild. It's terrible. You should all join our Discord mid-boss fight and troll. Perfection. So I at all of my friends in my private Discord to help us leave this guild with a bang. While the guild is on its 40th time trying to explain Vectis tactics, I schemed with my buddies. We have a plan of action. The stage was set. We're all ready. And unfortunately, one of the dumber memers joins early. He starts shouting waifu over and over again, but he's all on his own. Mission failed. Or was it? He was quickly banned, and I got called out with... Care to explain? I had been the one to generate the invite to him. I had to execute excuse mode. I made up some lame excuse that maybe he was going to join the guild. He's an old friend of mine and just have a look around in our Discord. But he bamboozled me, and apparently he was just trying to troll. I'm really sorry. They believed it. I had gotten away with it. We were a man down with him being banned from the server, but now the plan was still in motion. All we had to do was wait for the perfect time. Action. The pull happens, my buddies join in and an almost beautiful synchrony start playing ear fuckery down their Discord channel. They were surprisingly quick to ban them all, but it was an overall success. We wiped, and now all that was left was silence. And me and my partner waiting for the inevitable. What the fuck was that? The raid leader called. I gave them the last fuck you before hearthstoning, quitting the guild and leaving the Discord. It turned out decent though. Seemed like the rest of the guild members had a good laugh with the ordeal, and then eventually we put together our new raid team. Of course, as we had set this up, I recorded the incident for posterity. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? This is your headphone warning, okay? This is your headphone warning. I'm just telling you now. I'm going to listen along with you. I'm going to listen along with you. Here we go.
Narada, can you?
Well, on the other account, maybe.
Come on, hurry up!
I can't join.
Let's go, just go, just go.
I've got a feeling it's not going to end anytime soon.
Then take this off.
The +1 for the Harry Potter.
It genuinely wasn't
Oh my god. What is this shit?
Now, it does go on a bit after that. But you get the idea. Oh, the Harry Potter is such a lovely touch. It really is. The Harry Potter play is such a lovely touch. I really like that. I love the Harry Potter play. I know I'm stupid and this is stupid, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I did pre-warn you. However, I don't want it to make it a habit that you guys are trolling guilds and then sending it in to me under the guise of a drama story. Got him. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're good on time. Nice. The tail. Our main course for tonight. To end out your week, take your pants off, put your feet up, and relax. It's the tale of 4 elitists. The tale of 4 elitists. One of them is our author. We'll have Timmy. Gregor. Why would you sign up to my Patreon with this? And Beef Nipples. Thanks. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you for the continued support. The literal Elite Four. Yes, and one of them is our author. And Beef Nipples. Good shit. All right, then. Let's go. Hello, the Mighty Preacher. Hello. And the Graceful Chat. Graceful. I've never heard you guys described as graceful in a single episode of this show, but we'll take it. I'm a first-time writer, long-time listener. I hail from the Great White North, a.k.a. Canada. Ooh, beautiful. Which holds no true value in this story other than I'm Canadian and I'm proud. Yes, I'm even an ice hockey goalie. Oh, you fat. Ha ha! Got him. I don't know. I don't watch hockey. I know Chris Jericho, Celine Dion. I think that's it. That's every Canadian I know. Oh, Justin Trudeau. I do know who he is. He was in the news recently. This tale is a story that spans most of Legion and BFA. Ryan Reynolds, yes. Yes. Alanis Morissette, she's Canadian, right? Bieber, yes. Bieber's Canadian. It will talk about some of the trials and tribulations of 4 random dudes who met in a guild and sought greatness. Or by that I mean finding something better than what we had in front of us. We could ask the live audience to weigh in now if they think we found greatness or not. Okay, we have 4 elitists. Did they find greatness? By whatever measure you guys decide that greatness is. No, guilty. Oh, I actually cannot wait for Drama Time Season 5. I actually cannot wait for Drama Time Season 5. Oh, it's got to be good. Our story is told from the perspective of myself, an Alliance warrior main since vanilla World of Warcraft. I started the game as a 16-year-old on a shared account with a friend I met through another game. My friend had me join the RP server of Feathermoon US, where most of this story will take place. As I leveled my warrior, I did things like stacking spirits because it was my lowest stat and I wanted to balance them. Jesus fucking Christ. I also want to point out here, a drama story that didn't make it into the show. It didn't quite get there, but it did have a guy who quit the game. This is no joke. He quit the game because he found it annoying and bullshit that he had to use his mouse to turn the camera and click his spells, so he couldn't do both at the same time. So he literally quit the game for 2 expansions because of that. Unluck. Unluck. Or putting talent points in all trees because it made the most sense to be the jack of all trades. Good smart, actually. Moving into the Burning Crusade, I got my own account. Oh, I'm all grown up. I found a love for raiding. I tanked my way through the Black Temple, being the flame ad tank on Illidan. Same. And even defeated Kill Jaden in the Sunwell before Wrath of the Lich King was released. Oh, nerfed Sunwell? Big whoop, dude, honestly. That guy had like a quarter of the HP. Not to shit on your parade or anything, but who fucking cares? I don't fucking care. I was there, mate. I saw what they did to that fight. It's tragic. Tragic it was. Wrath of the Lich King, though, is released. I'd come a long way. During Wrath, I joined a guild called... Ooh, we need a really pretentious name. Something with knights in it. Some kind of knight. Something knights. Give me something pretentious. Oh, we've already had method. The Knights of Destiny. Perfect. Perfect. The Knights of Destiny. Oh, yeah. Sign me up. The Knights of Destiny. Okay. I got a guild called the Knights of Destiny. Eventually killing Arthas on 25 normal. And half of ICC heroic along the way. Ooh, where did you stop? I'm such a geek. That's actually the most interesting thing. I bet it was... Putricide? Likely to be Putricide, I want to say. probably Putricide. After Cataclysm launched, I took several on and off breaks from the game, but my guild, the Knights of Destiny, is the same guild that I'll be in where our story begins. All the way in Legion. Yeah, it's probably Putricide, right? That was the big step up in ICC. My return to World of Warcraft as my main game came midway through the Emerald Nightmare. I leveled up my human warrior and started to gear up by tanking my way through dungeons and mythics. By the time I was raid ready, the Nighthold had launched. Wow, slacker. And I had hoped to join my guild in their early progression through normal Nighthold. Unfortunately, my guild was full on tanks for both raid teams. Yes, we had an East Coast and West Coast team, each with their own exclusive roster. So I had to do what I had never done on my warrior. Become DPS. Yes. All this time, from the Burning Crusade to Legion, I had been a propped warrior. But now it was my time. Let me explain this guild a little bit. The guild itself has been around since the Burning Crusade. It's seen multiple iterations, but there have been some solid mainstays throughout the years. There used to be one main raid team, but because of people bitching about East Coast, West Coast times, that has to be a genuine problem in the US, right? It's a massive gap. Yeah, it's a 3-hour difference. They split the guild in two, of about 15 to 20 people each with a 3-hour difference. The East team consisted itself of the better of the two, and usually saw slightly better progression. However, because they raided so early, 5 PM to 8 PM Pacific, most of the West Coasters, like myself, couldn't attend. The West team started at 7 till 10, and most of the East Coasters complained that it was way too late to stay up and raid, so both teams were stuck to suffer independently. In addition to time issues, there was, of course, multiple issues with raid rosters. The Knights of Destiny's raid groups were filled with these kinds of people. All right, here we go. Both teams had raid leaders who said it was preferable to have 6 to 8 healers on fights to prevent mistakes for normal and heroic. Kill me already. I'm so done. 8 healers on heroic on normal, though? God damn, man, that's a long fucking kill. That's a long ass kill. Ursoc must have been a bitch, actually. The terrible female priest healer that hits on the men on Discord, despite her husband also attending the raids. Ooh. Gross, bro. A guardian druid tank who wouldn't use stampeding raw because he had bear charge. Therefore, it's not that good. Yeah, the question marks are correct. A shadow priest who managed to never pass higher than green. Oh my god, during Nighthold? Fuck me, man. Wow. And I quote, I have terrible ping issues and can't figure out my Demon Hunter's new rotation. The guy who says it should be fine to roll need on an item for transmog over giving it to someone else who needs it in case it doesn't drop again. This is the worst guild I've ever heard of in my life. Well, when do you Fellblade? Can anybody answer me that? I bet you can't. Smart people. True. Big true. Big true. Oh, the transmog? Okay. The of course, and maybe this is US only issue, you Americans can back me up on this, and I quote, I'm living in Australia, speak terrible English, not because I'm Australian, because our author loves my Aussie and Kiwi Commonwealth brethren, and I have every excuse in the world for being a very, very, very shit elemental shaman. That's incredibly specific. That's incredibly specific. You have a big issue with Australian elemental shaman? Is this a natural problem? A warrior tank who is known for one thing, and that's dying. A blood DK who we were utterly convinced put his microphone in his mouth to speak. We also had a very good resto druid who midway through a raid night came on Discord, told the raid that he had beat up his landlord and wouldn't be playing for a while. Standard guild stuff then. This occurred in early 2017 in Nighthold. We actually did not see him again until the end of Antorus in 2018. I mean, we're all in that guild, right? Every single one of those conditions has been met by you guys, I suppose. Very standard stuff. Very standard. Amongst these and a myriad of other very poor to average players is where I found myself. Now, it's important to note that the last time I seriously raided was, of course, Icecrown Citadel. We had set loot rules, a solid weekly roster, and before that was hardcore raiding that Sunwell and Black Temple. Needless to say, I was in for a rude awakening on what to expect from my fellow raiders, despite flying under the same guild banner. I theory crafted. I read guides, I watched videos, I looked at logs, I targeted good gear pieces, and was highly motivated not to be a hindrance to my raid team. You're in for a bad time, dude. You're in for a bad time. After a few weeks, I managed to find my way near the top of the DPS. Finding my groove with my new role. Once I neared the top, I found myself battling with 1 or 2 players each fight. Timmy, an all-round amazing player. The kind of player who can play every spec in an orange pass. Gregor, an excellent rogue, then warlock, who was able to talk playful smack and then back it up. Raid nights soon became the highlight of my week. With Timmy and Gregor, we would push each other to be better, trying to outdo each other on each and every fight, testing our limits, seeing who would pass the best each fight, looking at our cooldowns to see where I could maximize that little bit so we could be the better one. Laughing and joking while we did it, sending whispers to each other, having bets on gold and who would win each boss fight, or even gold wagers on if we would wipe or what DPS would die to the bridge on Croesus. Spoilers, it was always the demon hunter, so we had to exclude him from the wager. One time she dashed into the water and didn't know how she died. Despite the mediocre raid team performance, the night hold was amazing. One of the best experiences I've ever had in gaming. Eventually the guild raids cleared normal. It's now time for heroic. Now our progression was getting fucking serious. A post was made on the forum saying it's now getting serious. Well then. Not a forum post. Shit. We better get real, boys. A forum post. You know what I mean? Woo! Put your tie on. My warrior had gotten to the point in all heroic gear and M+. I was in the top 20 DPS warriors on the server. Even being asked to pug in for some on Mythic Gul'dan attempts by our server's only Mythic raid team. Good God, you have one Mythic raid team and it needs to pug. What realm is this? I need to put out a PSA to avoid. The 3 of us would spend endless hours on Discord, thinking of ways to improve the team and the guild. Oh no, here comes the elitism. Find ways to recruit new and better members. We played other games and would form an incredible bond. Next would be Beef Nipples. Our one tank that was actually decent. His only downside that he would leave during most trash to go and get stoned. The tank AFKs the trash. That's a problem. I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. He found common ground with us and would be another voice and like-minded friend to add to the trio. We would online, much later past raid times, go over logs, complain about the terrible players, talk to some of them and provide solutions. Oh, what you're doing, if you don't know, is you're forming a clique. Yeah, that's what you're doing right now. Okay, you're forming a clique. Next, what's the next steps in forming a clique? Your own separate Discord that you have during raids that one of you is going to fuck up and speak over everybody else. That is 100% in your future. Just so you know. Just so you know, your whole team's going to resent you horribly. It's going to happen. Finding ways to improve our teams. We even created our own Discord. It's literally the next line. We even created our own Discord for a place we could retire to after a long, frustrating night of wiping on Tichondrius Heroic. Both teams were suffering from the same issues. Both teams had decent players, but both teams had major problems. So, the 4 of us decided to do the only logical decision. We must combine the 2. We needed a strategy, though, because we're going to break apart 2 raid teams. So we need to bring it together. We spent long nights devising our strategy to pitch to East Coast, West Coast raid leaders and teams. The initial hurdle was the time. We decided that if the raid would start at 6 PM and go till 9 PM, 2 nights a week, which is our current raid nights, to ease the headaches and limit the backlash, the raid teams would combine into a massive 28-person guild raid. The next step was to write a dossier. A charter outlining the new rules. Fuck your guild, man. A dossier? Email me. Oof. I can't wait to read the dossier. It sounds awesome. We're playing WoW, right? We need a dossier? Okay. A charter. And expectations. We compiled our idyllic raid roster. We decided on loot rules, our raid goals, our identity as a new team under the Knights of Destiny. We even provided helpful links to theory guides and sims. It was a nicely organized, you guys guessed it wrong, 13-page document. Bam. Easy reading for anybody who wants to raid heroic. A real page turner. The team was to have a new name. We're no longer to be the Knights of Destiny. We're now to be the Unity Knights. For the upcoming Tomb of Sargeras raid. The whole thing got approved. The Knights of Destiny is going forward. Knights of Destiny East and West would eventually clear heroic. Days before 825 would launch. Into Tomb we went with a vengeance. Unfortunately, normal would fall slowly. The team was not off to a good start. After quite some time, we decided we could move to heroic, where the once strong roster would dwindle to 15 players. Tanks quit because they were forced into off-specs. 2 officers unsubscribed from WoW or stopped playing for a while because the raid started and ended too late for their East Coast lives. Which would have been fine if they didn't complain and whine about it literally every night until they quit. The demon hunter with the terrible ping eventually realized her ping wasn't going to cut it. Or was it the constant deaths and poor performance? It was a dark time for the Knights of Destiny. The raid was stalled on Mistress Heroic. We are talking about her. Mythic existed then, right? I'm not crazy. We had Mythic in Legion, yeah? Didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okay, this is... Alright, we're on Mistress Heroic. Okay. The raid was stalled on Mistress Heroic for 3 weeks. And even longer on Fallen Avatar. However, the group of 4, the mighty, the strong, stayed close. We battled and fought and schemed and planned, and finally, Heroic killed Jaden fell. Now, you must understand that Feathermoon isn't a massive server. Our Mythic raiding guild on Alliance left or fell apart. We weren't ready to leave the server just yet, and we'd have been attempting to recruit, but we're struggling to attract people to our poorly progressing guild. We are stuck with the Knights of Destiny. However, the Knights of Destiny are also stuck with us, and our ability to increase this raid is growing. We had all been promoted to officers. Now we had power. Gregor and Beef Nipples were considered to be the voice of our raid. We controlled the raid. The ego. We controlled the raid to call most of our own shots as we saw fit. It was a pretty nice place to be in, unless your raid is full of shitters, which ours was. On Taurus, the Burning Throne, we see the light, ladies and gentlemen. Week 1 and 2 are flops. Where's the light? Week 1 and 2 are flops. It does not go well. But it's getting better, I tell you. It's getting better. Slowly. In the last week of November, and our raid leader's computer dies. He's out of commission. With our raid leader out, we see our opportunity. Us 4 have full control of the Knights of Destiny. And it's only one raid team. What happened, I tell you, was heroic in every sense of the word, ladies and gentlemen. A story to be told over campfires. The first week in charge, we killed Argus normal. And got 4 out of 11 heroic. Come on! Rise up! Rise up! But that includes the pod boss, right? That's good! Our raid group had a drive. We were directors. We had a direction and we're focused. Kind of bad. No, it's not. That's fine. The 4 best players in the raid were now the leaders. Oh my god. Stroke your own dicks even more. We were leading by example. We were having bants. We're pushing and climbing. The team is rising. When previously it would have taken 6 to 7 months for the guild to clear normal and heroic in a raid, we did it in 3. We annihilated Argus Heroic sometime in early January. We had done it. We had led a band of mediocre to our own goal of greatness. It had even given the Knights of Destiny our first opportunity to enter Mythic. So we would. The Knights of Destiny never killed Gorothi Mythic. Nor did we ever go back into Mythic after that first attempt. But it counts nonetheless that we were inside Mythic. It's... oh, Gorothi Mythic. What a fucker. Just soaked twice. Twice? Oh my god. The 4 of us knew that we could run a guild. We could be in charge. We could organize and lead a raid. We're interested in setting our sights even higher. And Mythic must be where we go. So guesses on what we did next? That's right. We pre-ordered Battle for Azeroth. Mistake number 1. We used our 110 character boost. And we joined the Elite. A lot of you guys aren't going to like this. We joined the Elite. We rolled Horde. On a different server. And this is where it took a turn. Fuck you. Hey, while progress doesn't lie, boys. Look, you play Alliance all you want. Good luck with that. Shake of the hands. Shake of the hands. This is where our story takes a dark turn. We didn't tell the Knights of Destiny we were leaving. We just stopped showing up. And I, being so attached to my warrior, just transferred him to the Horde. I told only the GM before I left. The 4 of us started our brand new guild a month before Battle for Azeroth would launch. And despite having a nicely organized Discord, high item levels, ahead of the curve from Antorus, it never got anywhere. No one wanted to join. You're in the Horde now, bitch. Ahead of the curve on the Horde side? That plays over on the Alliance side, but you're in Horde Town now, baby. You fucking suck. Oh my god, look at these guys. Ahead of the curve. Okay, dude. Okay, sure. Clap, clap. We were able to get the guild going anywhere. That guild, that glorious guild, became a bank for our alts. Oh. Tragedy continues, though. Our always high stoner warrior, Beef Nipples, decided to call it a day. He said he just CBA. Us 3 eventually hopped servers to a new and prime server at the start of Battle for Dazara Law. We got into a guild where Gregor and Timmy became officers. A guild ran by a crazy healer who was over-attached to very bad female healer in the guild. Gregor's DPS fell. He couldn't keep up with the new game. It was too fast. His passes became grey and green. Seeing this in his logs, he lost his motivation for playing. Timmy switched to being our monk tank and essentially led the guild and raid. He burnt himself out after we were unable to recruit enough players to get past Mythic champions. Fucking Grong, am I right? Shit, dude. Fucking Grong. That fucking monkey. Unbeatable. As for me, I would amass some pretty darn good gear. And I had to leave my friends. They weren't to the standard that I was anymore. Oh, I love that. My friends are no good anymore. I joined a Mythic raid guild that was up to... Oh God. I joined a Mythic raid guild that was currently progressing on Stormwall Blockade. Where's the shotgun? Jesus Christ. My only prior experience was Mythic champions. I can proudly state, though, we did kill Mythic Jaina, and we qualified ourselves as NA last. As the very next morning, Eternal Palace was released. Oh, that's good. You progressed right up until Eternal Palace released. Hey, well played you. Well played you. That's thumbs up. I give that. We'd burned out, though. This is so depressing. The Eternal Palace. My raid performance plummeted. We did kill Mythic Ashvane. And we awoke the next day to see a post saying the guild was stopping raiding. We disbanded 2 hours after the post was made. As of writing this, I'm sorry to tell you I've unsubscribed from WoW for the remainder of BFA. I'm not happy with the RNG, the Horror Forge items, and I'm hoping to one day return to the days of Abyss List and retail WoW. Gregor, Timmy and I still talk every so often. But it's not the good times that we had in Nighthold or Antorus. Not anymore. If this makes it to air, thank you very much for reading my little story. I love listening to them on YouTube, and I hope to make a live show one day. Thanks again for your time and effort, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This story was written by N.A. Last. Goodbye, BFA. Oh God. Okay. I can't link this screenshot, but he has sent me a screenshot that his guild is easily one of the last guilds. One of the last guilds that actually did kill Jaina. Oh, F's to that. A sad story to finish out on. But to those of you who voted that our guys are for elitists. Look, let me finish with a proverb. We'll do this like Springer style, right? It's Mike's final thought. And I learnt this in the Burning Crusade. And it's totally true. It's very easy to be elitist in like a heroic guild if you're half decent. It's really, really easy. But then you need to play with the big boys. And when you play with the big boys, it all comes crashing down. Because I did the same thing. I thought I was the hot shit in the Burning Crusade until I joined an actual raiding guild where I was bigged up. My friends thought I was pretty much God at World of Warcraft until I joined a better guild. And then I was like, oh, okay, I have so much further to go. It's crazy. But yeah, watch out. Don't get too much of an ego, certainly in like heroic and normal, because it's kind of easier to be good there. It is. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings the end of drama time for today. It is 1 week until the Mr. Nibbles will be here. Drinking Game Web Show, Saturday. Yes, a week tomorrow it will be happening. I have a nice little Christmas video I put together to you this week as I haven't had my stream PC, although I think we did fine actually using my normal PC. It went fine. So have a great weekend. No event this weekend. No, there isn't. And I will see you Monday as we're doing PC repairs tomorrow. PC repairs tomorrow, so be good. Yes, the web show is a week tomorrow. Once again, I will always say you are responsible for your drinking habits. It's on the 21st, 8 p.m. GMT. That's London time. You are responsible for your own drinking habits. Do not come crying to me when you overdrink. That's not my fault. All right, be good. I'll see you later. Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all. Mwah! I hope you're having a tremendous Friday as we are racking up. And I've got to pre-warn you right now. I'm going to pre-warn you right now for possibly the most infuriating story I've ever been sent on this show. Marvelous. After like 4 years of doing drama time, the story that drove me fucking crazy, actually drove me completely crazy. Reading it, it got me angry. It made me furious. It got me so wound up. It is unbelievable. But that's what we've got in store for you today. As well as tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, it is going to be drama with Method and me. Method and me. It will be Preach versus Method. And I have 3 spots to give away. I have 3 spots to give away from viewers. If you're on the Horde side and you are on the EU, I can bring 3 of you along to help in my cause. Oh yes, to help in my cause. And that's going to be on Twitter after drama time. On Twitter after drama time to get you in. If you wish to come along and help us try and wipe the Method boys. That is the plan. That is the plan. We need to be in a heroic raid and wipe the method boys. That is the plan. So it will be done on the Twitter afterwards. I've just got the graphics last night, so it's going to be done on Twitter. It's for tomorrow night. I believe it's at 7 p.m. We'll get together a little earlier. Me and I believe Mr. Kona from Method will be having a gentleman's drink, discuss the rules that are taking place here. The rules are relatively simple, though. We have one chance to wipe them if we succeed. So let's say it's the first boss. If we do wipe them, then we will kill the boss the next time. It should only take about 2 hours. We're not going to spend all night on one boss. That's not the strategy. So I believe there's a prize pool, or there's been talk of a prize pool, if we win. So if we wipe them, we get a point. If we don't wipe them, they get a point, and so on and so forth until the end of the run. And big shout outs to Reddit, who have been just contributing so many different strategies and techniques that can be used to get this done. I am bringing some guildies, so we should be having a good time. So if you want to take part in that, pay attention to Twitter after this. I'll remind people at the end of the show. That should be a good plan. All right. That's what's happening. And also, I should point out that in a week tomorrow, there is a web show. Drinking game, birthday, Christmas, New Year web show. The big web show is going to be 1 week from tomorrow on Saturday night. It will be happening. Get your drinks ready. It's going to be going on. It will be me and, of course, Mr. Nobble, whose birthday is also at the same time, which I didn't know. It's exactly the same time. I've known that man for years and never knew his birthday was like 3 days away from mine. So that is what's going to be happening. That will be in a week's time on Saturday here on the stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's twitch.tv/PreachLFW. Big drinking game web show talking everything from the last year. Kicking back, chilling out, and you're responsible for your own drinking habits. As I remind everybody each time, you are responsible for your own drinking habits. That's not on me. That is nothing to do with me. Right, guys, live chat. I need, for this one, we're going to warm you up with a little gentle RP. I'm going to warm you up with a little gentle RP. The beef. The Tauren beef is what we're going with here. The Tauren beef. But I do need a sort of Tauren-y guild name. RP Tauren-y guild name to go along with this. That would be amazing. We've got a man called David Smith. I'm just going to go with Smith for this one, who is an edgy RPer. Ooh, edgy. Edgy. We'll go with Drew. We'll go with Jim Bob. Get in here, Jim Bob. He's superstar. And 2 more. We'll go with Vincent and Fennel. Perfection. Perfection. Now, unfortunately, Twitch has changed their layouts and stuff. It's caused me all kinds of issues. So you might see some brightness and then no brightness because I have to switch between Patreon and stuff. Usually I have it all set up. For the herd. I like that. For the herd. Perfect. 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 So this is a tale about RP gone wrong when somebody not that interested in RP goes and checks out some RP, which I know many of you have done over the course of this channel because I'm a supporter of RP. I wish I could have that kind of fun. These guys have a huge amount of fun. Yeah, I feel a bit silly. I can't help it. I feel a bit silly every time I do it. So I did try it a couple of years back. It just wasn't for me. Wasn't for me at all. All right, so a nice, gentle story of RP getting serious. It's not a joke. All right? Before we get into the horrific tale that I have for you. All right, this is purely a story, Mike, of RP absurdity that still baffles me to this day. Normally, I'd ask to keep the stuff anonymous, which I'm going to do anyway. We don't reveal anything. We don't reveal anything. But this is the way we go. So to begin, a couple of years back, I have been hunting for a new guild to join, as many people do. And I found a forum post about a mostly Tauren RP guild for the herd. And I thought I might as well jump in, see what it's all about. They had so many members, guys. So many members. And I liked their premise. Their RP was a hosted weekly story time event where members from the community, other guilds as well, could gather around a campfire and share stories in character. Oh, sounds nice, doesn't it? I thought this would be a good time for me to get to know the guild I had just joined, so I decided I'll attend this event. It should be noted that I joined the guild and then went to this event only 2 to 3 days after joining. I was incredibly new to these folks and everyone involved. And so to set the scene, the RP scene, it's evening. Darkness has fallen over Azeroth. The character I am playing is a high mountain Tauran shaman. I sat there around the campfire through several stories until it came time to end it. One of the last storytellers to stand up and regale us with his saga was a big old Tauran named Smith, the GM of For the Herd. He got up and told a story that I don't really remember, but the gist was that it was a scary story to be told around a campfire about demons or the void or something purple. It also included a jump scare at the end of the story. My character's backstory, of course, was fresh off the boat from a Legion invasion of his homeland. And as the story was a scary story about all things purple, I reacted accordingly. That is, I emoted being startled and putting a hand on my weapon. I should note that I didn't emote drawing the weapon. And then my character relaxed and went back to being cool for the rest of the tale. Smith's guild, however, did not take it like that at all. Almost immediately after I posted that my character was startled, his guildmates started emoting from across the way. They were describing how they were glancing at my character. Some of them started emoting that they were making menacing gestures. I tried to ignore it, but of course it was making me uncomfortable. I figured they'll just go away after the event and it'll just be forgotten. Maybe they're just involved in the story, because really, it's just RP night. And this is, in his words, who fucking cares? But I was wrong! I was wrong. As soon as the event ended, his entire guild ran over to my character and made a circle. They were emoting that they were preventing me from standing up. They then started to insult me, threaten me for daring to make an attempt on Smith's life at a peaceful gathering. My character and myself can't get a word in edgewise. They are spamming emotes so fast it was like Twitch. Again, my guy never drew a weapon or did anything except go, "Oh no, scary," and then moved on. Around this time, the GM of my guild, Drew, and the former GM of my guild, Jim Bob, ran over to see what was going on. They managed to get the For the Herd boys just to back off long enough for Smith himself to enter the fray, see what the deal was. I was now, I'm afraid to say it, speaking out of character. That's right. I was just saying, out of character, it's just RP. I have no ill feelings towards any of you. Really, it's just joining in the RP. That's all. They didn't care, though. They demanded an in-character apology to everyone For the Herd. I had already given an apology during the spam, but they didn't think it was good enough. Thankfully, Jim Bob and Drew were both adamant that I did nothing wrong, and I didn't need to make a big stand-up apology. Either in character or out of character for this moment. It's just RP. And nothing my character did warranted such a big thing. Smith and his guildies were incensed. They demanded I stand atop the high mountain and apologize, or else cooperation at later interguild events would be broken. Our truce and our alliance would be ended. Drew and Jim Bob stood by their decision to defend me, and Smith and his guild left in a huff. For what happened during this and afterwards, I will forever be grateful to Drew and Jim Bob for standing up for me. Again, I had barely spoken to any of them. I had been in the guild 2 or 3 days, and the 2 guilds involved had apparently been allied guilds for a very long time. But it didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. No, it didn't stop there. And I want to be clear here. Not because it got serious, but because of how fucking cringe it was. With the months of prolonged harassment, quotations, that they tried to give me. So a few days later, one of our guildies is RPing in Orgrimmar and happened to run into what were now called the For the Herd thugs. His character was friends with their characters, had known them for quite some time. And he had been told in these conversations that Drew better watch her back. And that under no uncertain circumstances, For the Herd would come for her and, I quote, rip off her head and shit down the throat hole. For how she had disrespected their guild and Smith. We later found out that one of these people in the For the Herd thugs who was there that day was actually an alt of Smith. Meanwhile, the character in our guild continued to RP with For the Herd for the next few weeks and continued to receive threats daily of this nature. They would start targeting different people in our guild, not just me, Smith, and Drew, not just me, Drew, and Jim Bob, anyone in our guild. It got to a point where, in character, we had to have a meeting where we RP advised our guilds to stay well clear of the For the Herd gang. That's right. Better watch yourselves. For the Herd. Yeah? If you walk down, if you turn a street and you see them, just walk the other way. Walk the other way. It became a huge problem, a much bigger problem than you guys can imagine, when we would host our server-wide story events. For the Herd would show up, cause a scene, threaten us, emote kicking over chairs, and then demand that our crew would leave. Eventually, it didn't work in their favor. For the Herd stopped being invited to the events. But you know what? They'd show up anyway. One of our biggest problems, of course, is that you can't physically stop people from going somewhere in World of Warcraft. Event leaders started putting them on ignore so we could continue on as if these guys weren't there walking around our storytime events. It got to a point where they started to whisper our newer members about the evils of our guild and that them, strong, proud Taurans, had been wronged and had never received proper recompense. And it worked on some of those members. It did. They eventually left our guild to join theirs, or they became informants for the Herd. At this point, we had to start telling our guildmates, if they're approached by a member of the gang out of character about this drama, then they need to report it properly through the proper channels and then try and ignore them. We're just an RP guild, we would say. Just to remind you. But it came to a head, ladies and gentlemen. Personally. I was trying to do world quests. Yeah. This was during Legion and PvP free-for-all world quests were a thing. I was out at the quest where you jump on the animals there and fight while mounted. I was ganked by a random blood elf named Vincent. I thought nothing of it. He ganked me a few more times before he left, and I figured he's just getting his quest done. No big deal. However, the next time I did the Blackrock Arena quest, oh God. Woo, horrid nightmares. There he was, Vincent. And this time when he ganked me, he threw me a whisper. For the Herd sends their regards. Usually when you put quotations around something, it means you're in character saying it. To denote out of character, you use double brackets. I thought, for fuck's sake. I didn't know what else to think. And I ignored it and just tried to get my fucking quest done. But this guy had stacked up the damage buff. I was on my undergeared RP ult. I wasn't particularly good at LE PvP and ultimately wasn't really trying. I just wanted the fucking quest complete. Needless to say, he got me every time I stepped into that arena. I mentioned it in my guild chat. I just said, the For the Herd dick is here and he's really getting on my tits. And surprisingly, a few of my guildies said they would volunteer to help me out. We easily ganked Vincent a couple of times. 4-on-1 isn't fair, but fuck fairness. But then surprise, surprise. Guess who rolls up? Almost as if they got out of their pintos. It's the gang. The For the Herd gang. And they were led by their enforcer, Fennel. A guy that only ever plays Guardian Druid as the enforcer of their guild. A couple of others that I don't really remember their names, and they wiped the floor with us. I think I was really the only one who did any PvP on any class in our guild. Fennel got himself up to 10 stacks of the damage buff. It also increased damage taken, but he's a big old fucking bear. He's a big, strong bear. We all sat around the outside edge of the arena just waiting for them to piss off. At this point, I yell, "Why? Why?" out of character. Just to understand what the point was in this now months-long drama. Fennel, as it turns out, was ready for this and decides to fire back with the most burning insult I'd seen that day. Why not? "Are you scared?" Fennel said. My reply, out of character, was pretty simple. "No, I'm just trying to do world quests." To which he replies, and I shit you not, something I truly believe Fennel thought would shake the fear out of any man. "Welcome to the real world." Yeah. I didn't know what he meant. I still don't know what he meant. Was he trying to be tough? Does he think RP is the real world? Is the PvP arena the real world? I don't know. Is getting ganked over and over again in World of Warcraft the real world? I was so confused that we started memeing it in guild chat. I tell him I'm not even on my main. He says he has 10 stacks. So I just jump in and slash dance as they gank me. And their guild actively celebrated and rubbed it in that I couldn't beat the 10-stacked Guardian Druid. I just danced on the edge of the arena, and after 15 minutes, they got bored and left. I saw Vincent again a few times when out doing FFA stuff, but I started swapping to my main and hunting him down until he got the message and he stopped ganking me. I don't know if he ever figured out that it was me on my ult, but in the end, it was For the Herd that claimed a few of our members. No one we'd miss, I'll be honest. It took nearly a year for them to get bored of harassing us, and they fell into obscurity. To us, at least. They had made a bad name for themselves on the realm. All in all, until it stopped being talked about, this one emote at a Storytime RP event lasted about a year to a year and a half. Filled with so much harassment, whispers, betrayals, that I could go on and make the story much longer. I've left that guild now. It became a headache. Thank you for reading Preacher Chat, and I hope you enjoyed my little RP story. And in case any members of For the Herd hear this, I just want to ask, why? Why? P.S. I've attached some screenshots of the ganking incident. Okay. Okay. Let's look at some big talk from some big RPers. Huge talk, actually. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Why not? Scared? You come to an open battlefield, so come down and show us what you got. I assume that's the member of For the Herd. Our guy? No, dude. I just want to get this done. I don't want y'all going in character on me. Welcome to the real world. Yeah? Welcome to the real world. Real drama. Real RP. All right. RPers, y'all amaze me every single time. Okay, prepare to be just... And let me ask this question. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you were the first person in your group of social people in the real world, the actual real world, not the RP world, who got their driving license first? Raise your hand. That would be me. That would be me. So those people who have been in that scenario, oh boy. Oh boy. Are you in for a time? Right, we're going to need some real classy people for this one. I need some legends for this one. All right, we're going to have Ayla. We're going to have Enjoy. And we're going to have Rob. Perfect. Okay. I'm pre-warning you guys. This is just going to upset you. I'm really sorry. All right. Holla Preacher of the chat. I am writing from the US of A in the sunny state of California. I've been watching your channel for a while, ironically, after me and my friends quit BFA. And after watching basically all of Drama Time, I decided to send my own. Just a disclaimer and preface before I start, all right? Whenever I tell this story, I try, as best I can, to give mostly the facts that haven't been colored by my own bias. This is because I definitely know 100% that I am not perfect in this story, and there are things I could have done much differently, and I want to let whoever listens to it pass their own judgment without me influencing their decision too much. Okay? This is also a relatively long story, although that can easily be attributed to me being a garbage storyteller. Apologies in advance for bad grammar. I am writing this late at night. All right. Are you ready? The guilty spam begins. All right, here we go. 3 years ago. Due to circumstances that aren't relevant, I left my old circle of friends. This combined with the fact that I was single at the time, I still am. So what up, ladies in the chat? No. Don't do that. You stop that right now. Okay? You stop that. That's a no. That's a no. I decided to give online dating a bit of a try. This is where I met Ayla. From the get-go, it was clear she's looking for only friends. Then why are you on a dating app? I hear about this all the time. Girls on dating apps who just want to be friends. What the fuck? What is that? Right? What is that? That's a scam, right? That's a scam from start to fucking finish. That's what that is. That is a fucking scam, right? That is a fucking scam. Well, this is where I met Ayla. We started talking a bit, and she eventually invited me to play the one and only, the purest of games, League of Legends, with her and a couple of her friends. After a few games, she invited me to join their Discord. We're in. We're getting there. This is a detail that'll become important later. But her service had two purposes. It served as the guild Discord for a Japanese mobile game that she was the leader of. And I unfortunately still play to this day. And if anyone in the chat has heard anything about the mobile game Grand Blue Fantasy, please, I beg of you, do not start it. And it was also a Discord for her and her friends to just hang out and talk. All right, yeah, you know it's maximum weeb. Let's go. Grand Blue Fantasy. I am expecting full weebiness. Max. Oh, that says PS4. Hold on. Mobile. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the tits. Oh, yeah. Boom. Oh, yeah. This is the game we want. Oh, yeah. This is fucking ooh to the max. Oh, yeah. Oof. It doesn't look that bad, actually. I'm not seeing anything that's, like, instantly overly sexual, which is typically what we see on these games. It looks like it's like Final Fantasy VII Combat Simulator. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong. I've never played it, but that's what it looks like to me. Okay. Kill me. Monday's game? Please no, Stormy. Please no. I don't want anything to do with that. Okay. I'm a pretty social person, guys. So I was quick to make friends inside the server, and I found out who the more talkative people were, and we quickly became friends. And this is how I met Enjoy. I met Enjoy and Rob. Enjoy was one of the more active people on the server. He was also one of the people that would play League with. Rob was just one of the people I talked to a lot, and one of the first people I became good friends with. We're still close friends to this day. Eventually, we had a regular group of friends that would play games like WoW and League of Legends and talk a lot together, which would include Rob, Enjoy, and Ayla. Now, there were a couple of things I noticed about Enjoy and Ayla right away that made me raise some eyebrows. They both claimed to be single, but would often flirt with each other in public. They also had matching profile pictures of the same anime character they both liked. I mean, that's marriage, right? We should change our Discord profile pictures to the same Weibo shit. Yeah. And they happened to ship both of these characters together. During some bro talk late at night, we asked Enjoy if he had a girlfriend, and he responded that he did. He wouldn't say who it was, and the details he gave matched the description of Ayla, but some of the things just didn't add up, so we just kind of left it alone. In the coming months as a group, we got a lot closer to each other. Overwatch had just come out, so we fucking smashed some Overwatch. All day, all night, Overwatch. And in general, we would stay up all the way through just shooting the shit about whatever dumb thing we came up with that night. We even got to meet each other at Anime Expo that year. It's important to note that within our friend group, Enjoy and Ayla actually live relatively close to each other. Enjoy being about 90 minutes away from me, and Ayla being 20 to 30 minutes away from me. Everyone else lives out of state or decently far in our huge ass state, so it was really cool being able to see everybody IRL. And after we met, we definitely got closer to each other. And me, Enjoy, and Ayla started to hang out IRL semi-frequently. In these months, Enjoy had kept up his really obvious flirting with Ayla and continued with the matching profile pictures. She would change to a different anime. He would change. They would choose anime couples. So one night in private, I straight up asked him, yo, Enjoy. You do two it together, right? You two it together, right? I mean, we can see it. I presented my facts and put my case forward. He, of course, denied it. And his reply was, lol, dude, you are way off, mate. Nah, not even. Not even, though, bro. Well, after hanging out one day IRL and grabbing dinner, Enjoy said he needed to tell me something. That he was, in fact, dating Ayla. And he couldn't deny the evidence I had laid forward. But it was important. Very important. I had to promise. Do not tell anyone. She wants, no, that's wrong. She needs to keep it on the down low. I personally didn't give a fuck. So I said, okay. From that point on, I had entered somewhere I never wanted to be in my entire life. I was now the only person who knew of the relationship, and ergo, I was now apparently confidant. Every fucking thing related to him and Ayla's relationship would come my way. He would ask me advice about everything, what to do. He'd tell me stuff they did together because I was the only one apparently I could know. As I got closer to Enjoy, I also started becoming friends with his IRL group of friends. They all lived relatively local, of course, roughly an hour and 45 away from me. So eventually, they were having big hangouts and parties and things. I would tag along. Now, before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, there are a couple of important details I need to share with you guys about Enjoy. Here's some details. Enjoy's parents are the definition of helicopter parents. Whenever he is home from the holidays, which is pretty close considering he lives only 20 minutes away from them, he is not allowed to hang out with anybody who is outside of his family. If he does, the guilt trip is insane. Sometimes he's point blank not allowed to leave the house if they have something going on later in the day. This means that Enjoy basically never gets to hang out with his IRL friends except for online unless they go to him. 2. Related to the above point, he does not have a driver's license or a car out of choice. Now, California public transport is hot garbage, can confirm, was there last month. Unless you live in LA or Northern California, where it's turbo shit. Even then, it's not great, it says. So you basically cannot go anywhere in the Orange County unless you have a car. Now, it's not because Enjoy can't drive. Enjoy does not have a license because if he did, then his parents said he would have to live with them instead of near his campus, as it is close enough for him to commute. On that basis alone, Enjoy refused to get a driving license. What the fuck are you doing? Right? What in the fuck are you doing, son? Oh my God. I swear to God, I am never being that parent. Oh my God. Go. Get out of my house, kids. Go. Right? Just go. Get out. How old are you? 7? Leave. Get a job. Fucking go. Point 3. Enjoy is broke. He has no job. He lives off the money his parents give him for food and rent and financial aid. And this is understandable, as at the time he was studying to get into med school and all of his internships were not paid. But his parents knew it would help his long-term studies. Now, because of the above factors, I wanted to be a good friend to Enjoy. So when the big hangouts were coming, I would pick him up every single time. They didn't hang out super often or anything, maybe once or twice a month. And he was kind of on the way, so I decided I would be his bro. I wanted him to hang out with the boys as often as he could. So in total, without traffic, it's about an hour and a half to Enjoy's house and another 30 minutes to where his friends and parents live. Unfortunately, it's California, where there's turbo shit traffic. And so the total trip time for me to pick up Enjoy, to go and have a good time, is about 3 to 3.5 hours. One way. In total, on the times that we would go and hang out with his friends, I would spend around 5 to 5.5 hours driving. But I didn't mind, because they were now becoming my friends, and I enjoyed spending time with them. I'd like to take this moment to let you guys know that while it seems like I'm just kind of giving random information, I promise you this all becomes relevant. Because we've been hanging out online and in real life, of course, I merged into that friends circle. I joined their Discord server and would play games with them, or would just hang out and talk the shit, and eventually it all sort of sludged together. The group I had with Ayla and Rob and Enjoy also got to play games. We play League, we play some World of Warcraft, we play all together, and of course that Japanese Weibo game. And we all became one big circle of friends. Winning! We're doing well. At first, only me and Enjoy's IRL friend group knew the secret, the big secret, that Ayla and them and him were dating. It was honestly nice to have other people to talk to it about because fucking so tired of listening to Enjoy shit. Enjoy had started telling me problems he was having in his relationship. And I'm going to be honest, literally all the problems Enjoy ever told me and battered my ear about came down to talk to her, you fucking pleb. And it became super frustrating. It was nice to have other people around who knew that I could vent to about it, as he would also share his problems with them. It's also worth noting that Enjoy and Ayla did a really shitty job at hiding their relationship, to the point where everyone fucking knew. Or had figured it out. It was through talking to his IRL friends that I learned about some concerning things. Very concerning things about Enjoy and Ayla's relationship. One of the first and most alarming things, that Enjoy had been chasing that cooch for 3 years. 3 years before they'd actually started dating. During that 3-year period, she had said no to him, on some people's guess, around 45 times. He had gotten depressed over it. He would complain to his friends about her not saying yes. And despite this, that boy never gave up. Oh no. Never gave up. But she was also doing questionable things to him. For example, she was openly flirting with him in public and in private, and generally was stringing him along for those whole 3 years, while also saying she didn't want to be with him. Now, this is a red flag, of course. What I learned next was about a minigun of red flags, where things that she was doing currently in the relationship with Enjoy that he had not told me about. You see, Ayla lives 30 minutes away from me. but it's the opposite direction from Enjoy, which means via car, it's a 2-hour trip to get from Enjoy to Ayla. Ayla is a student, but she works during the school year and takes summer classes in order to complete her master's degree. She has a car. She has a driving license. We even carpooled to Anime Expo a couple of times. Every single weekend, without fail, Enjoy would take a choo-choo to her place and then an Uber for about 10 minutes to finally see her. She occasionally would pick him up from the train station. But in the time they had been together, she had literally never, not once, under any circumstances, been to his house. Not a single time. Despite her having a job and him being broke AF, he would pay for every single weekend, everything they ate, and everything they did while he was there. One time, he went to visit her. Okay, like you do. He's gone to visit her. The trains had closed early for the day. So he was stranded in a not-so-great area with no way to get home that evening. So he picks up the phone, calls her. Ayla, you won't believe it, but there's no train for me to get home. I know it's a 2-hour drive, but can you take me? No. I'm busy. Please, I beg of you, I can't get home. Please, I beg of you, please. No. After quite some time, she relented. I'm going out tonight. You can stay on my parents' couch until tomorrow when you can get a train. Now, the friends group, the Discord friends group, has one very wonderful thing in common. And that is, of course, MEMES. And they, I didn't realize, fucking loved this shit. Because every time something would happen with these two, the memes would flow. And they loved it. They lapped it up. As soon as this event was revealed, the memes. I've included some of the memes for you. Here is the example of the one that happened on this occasion. Thanks to the miracle of the World Wide Web, I can ask someone to take me home around the globe. Can you take me home? No. Marvelous. Oh, good stuff. You gotta love Gamer Friends. Gamer Friends are best friends. Gamer Friends really, really care about your situation. At this point, I can guess what the chat is spamming right now, and I'll tell you right now. The IRL friend group, the online friend group, and sometimes even Ayla, his girlfriend, admittedly it was only in the beginning at first and died down for her, would call him a cook. If your girlfriend is calling you a cook, right? Do I need to explain? Do I? Do I need to be the guy? Do I need to be the fucking judge, jury, and executioner on the situation if your girlfriend is calling you a cook? Really? Do I need to be the guy? Get the fuck out of there, dude. Abandon ship, right? You saw the intro to Metal Gear Solid. Leap off that bridge. Fucking James Bond that shit. Get out of there, dude. Get out of there. I'll say right now that when I first met Enjoy, he was a good man. He was friendly. He was pretty nice and just a fun dude to hang out with. He was a little bit of an edgelord. A bit of an arse at times, but he had a charm about him that was very, very cool. But during the course of the next year and a half, things remained the same for Enjoy and Ayla. We became closer as friends. We continued to play games together, hung out with his friends. We're still good friends. However, there were a couple of things that started happening that started to splinter, fracture. Not only between us, but both the IRL and online friend group. I mentioned this earlier, but me and people from the friend group often ended up as the confidants to his problems. Unfortunately for us, he would ask us for advice and then would ignore it, of course, which annoyed us. He also started becoming more edgy, more of a dick, with none of the charm that he had before. As Rob put it, he's like Dante, but not cool, and more of an arsehole. Basically, Dunkty. He also would keep reminding us that him and Ayla had had sex now. A year and a half! You're in college! A year and a half! 3 years you chased it! And a year and a half later you did it! God damn, dude. God damn, dude. He would start mentioning it at any opportunity to an annoying degree. For example, I would tell him to eat a dick and shut the fuck up, to which he would reply in the pink, I don't want to eat a dick, but I know someone who would eat my dick. Haha. It was whatever the first couple of times. Sure, dude. Sure, dude. But after a year and a half of it, it was getting fucking really annoying. On a more depressing note, it was literally the only thing that he told us that she did for him. There's no gifts, no nice trips, no hand-holding. But they had sex. So, I mean, I imagine for most of us that's okay. Now, there is an event in particular that happened before the main fallout that I think planted the seeds for the explosion to come. At this point, Enjoy had graduated with his bachelor's and was applying for med school. He also moved out of his place and moved in with Ayla and her parents. One day, he DM'd me, asking me if I was free for the next couple of hours. I told him I had class in a couple of hours, but right now I'm just chilling. Apparently his uncle had been hospitalized the day before and he needed a ride to see him. It wasn't super serious. He's not in any life-threatening danger. He had just had an accident and his family wanted him to come and visit with his uncle. Now, when Enjoy had moved out, he hadn't told his parents that he was going to live with his girlfriend. So, he either needed to get a lift to his parents' house or directly there. The trains were also not working on the times that made it work. So unless he was going to wait a couple of hours, that wasn't really a viable option. Sure, dude, your uncle's ill. I got you, fam. I got you. I agreed to take him. He said, okay, thanks, bro. I'll go and make us a couple of lunches. And then you can come over in about 30 minutes. Not bad. I said, it's okay. I've just eaten, actually. I've just eaten. I'd already eaten, but thanks for the thought. And he responded with, not for you. Lunch for me and Ayla. Well, nice. At this point, I'm confused. I knew Ayla had work, but I assumed that, you know, since they lived together, he would have asked her if she was free, and thus she had work from the usual 9 to 5. So I said, Ayla's coming home for lunch and then going back to work? Is that what's happening? To which he responded, no, Ayla's coming home now, and then she's chilling for the day. Fuck that noise. I just replied, dude, if she's gonna sit on the couch and not take you to see your uncle in hospital, I ain't fucking taking you, dude. He just replied, okay. And I just went to class. I later found out that she didn't take him, but not only did she not take him, but all she did commit to was to wait the 2 hours and then sit with him at the train station until his train arrived. Up until this point, what a girl. What a girl. Oh, what a stellar girl. I love her. I love her. I love her so much. Up until this point, I knew Enjoy had problems with the things that Ayla did. He didn't like some of the things she did. He would complain about them to us. He still paid for everything and still bent over backwards to appease her. I just didn't know it was like this bad. And a side note here, naturally, I told the boys. Boys, you've got to tell me what's going on. What do you think? And the boys responded in kind. As the boys do. As the boys do. They respond in kind. Oh, you gotta hand it over to the boys. They're dealing with it. They're good. The boys are in a solid... Yeah, it's a meme, right? Like, what the fuck? We told him. What do you want us to do? We've told you, dude. Leave. Like, what the fuck? At this point, we're just making some memes. That's all that's happening. There are a lot more details. But in the interest of time, I'll just say that this kind of event was not uncommon. Let's put it that way. The explosion, then. It all came to a head. when people from all the groups decided they're coming to California. A week together. The tail end of summer. Summer in the Big Orange. The week before, the IRL friend group had a birthday party that naturally I took Enjoy with me to. At this point, Enjoy had moved to his own place about 10 minutes from me that was a single-room apartment. Rob and one other person were looking for accommodation during the week-long trip, as you do. And they said to Enjoy, yo, dude, bro, it's totally okay if you say no. We're prepared for that. We can stay in a hotel or Airbnb. But if you've got room in your place, can we crash there? Because it's way cheaper. We'd have some more money. Sure. Enjoy says, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no problem. You can crash with me. And they proceeded to stay at his place for the week. Naturally, none of them had cars in California, so I ended up being the designated driver. During this time, Enjoy actually had very early morning classes, but he had one strict rule. None of them are allowed a key to his apartment. This meant... Can I just point out here, this has happened in nearly every American drama story where somebody has come to stay at their house. What are you guys terrified about? Like, what do you think the guys are going to do to your house? Like, you let them stay there, but this is not strange. Like, if it doesn't happen in Euro stories, but in drama in America, fucking hell, man. Everyone takes the key. Steal stuff? They're your friends, right? You're letting them sleep in your home. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. This is way more common than it should be. Like, I've had loads of people stay at my house. If I'm letting you stay here, you can have a key. I don't know. All right. So this meant that either they had to stay in the apartment with it locked for the entire day, and he did get home late on class days, or I had to look after them for the entire day. They're my friends, so I don't mind taking care of them for the day and going chilling with the boys who are staying with us. But it was weird that he wouldn't give him a key. Ayla had a key, of course, but his friends not so much. Before we continue, I want to make it clear that I don't mind driving, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mind at all. As a matter of fact, I love driving. I've got my driving license. It's early days. Going anywhere in the car is super fun. I find it calming and relaxing, and I generally enjoy it. And I love my friends. I'll drive them places if they need it, and I don't ask for anything in return. Generally speaking, my friends are good people. So when I do, they offer to give me gas money, or they just grab me a meal as compensation for driving. This whole time, over the last 3 years at this point, I had been driving Enjoy to hang out, and to be frank, spent a lot of money doing that. He had given me nothing. However, he's my friend, and I don't mind. He has never compensated me in any way, but I'm sympathetic to the fact that he's broke, so I don't say anything, and I just take it as me doing something for my good friend. That's your mistake. This detail is important, and obviously a big part of the fallout. During the tail end of the trip, we're coming to the end of the week. It's Friday. We had a birthday party for one of the people in the IRL friend group. We also went around eating, hanging out throughout the week. So at this point, I had driven quite a lot. On Saturday night, while we're planning the big Sunday, Ayla suggests somewhere that's around 40 minutes from where we are, but it's right next to her place. At this point, I had burned through a lot of gas, maybe a tank and a half, 2 tanks in the span of the time. So I didn't really want to spend more money on gas. So I said to the guys, I'm kind of running out of, gas stuff. I just don't want to spend more on gas, boys. If there's something closer, that would be better. As she obviously wasn't going to drive and pick Enjoy up, and she lives close to him, but I just don't want to do it. It would have been another 1 hour plus long drive for me round trip. They said, cool, we'll figure out tomorrow what to do then. We'll do something close. Of course, like bros do, they did nothing. They stayed in the house all day. The following day, I was taking care of Rob for the day, as Enjoy had classes, and Rob didn't want to spend the day cooped up in the apartment. While we're hanging out at my place, I was feeling like a fucking baller. You know why? I just got 2 months of my paycheck. Fuck yeah. They had screwed up my wages earlier, and I got a double upfront payment. Boo yeah. In my infinite wisdom, and no regrets if I'm being honest, I decided to use my ballerdom to spend $200 on the mobile game. The same mobile game that Ayla's Discord server was for, Grand Blue Fantasy. Reminder to everyone in the chat, please do not play this game. I wanted to roll that sweet, sweet gotcha. Honestly, I got some pretty good stuff. And I showed all of my friends my really cool shit that I had just got in Grand Blue Fantasy. You fool. I think besides WoW, I've never spent anywhere near that amount of money on a video game. I don't think so, anyway. I was lucky to pass on League of Legends. Now, Rob was leaving on Wednesday, so we decided to go out for dinner Tuesday. At this point, I had classes, so I couldn't chill during the day. But we made plans for that big nightly dinner. I was feeling a bit off, and I'd almost had a car accident earlier in the day. So I just called one of our mutual friends who was joining us and going to the dinner, whether or not they could pick me up, as I didn't really want to drive. Ultimately, I felt better. I didn't end up taking the ride. And we had dinner, everything was great, until 2 hours after this meeting. I'm chilling. Then Rob gets on the big blue, sends me a message. Bro, have you said anything to Ayla or to Enjoy about the gas for that weekend? I responded that I had brought up the gas, but that all I said was I'd spent a lot on gas over the last little while and I didn't want to spend a ton more to do more stuff. Rob said that Enjoy and Ayla had been talking hella shit about me. And they said, he's such a bitch. Why won't he spend money on gas so he can play with his friends, but instead he spent money on a fucking game? Nice priorities. I swear to God. I swear to... Kind of true. Oh my God, kind of true. Your money should be on us. All of it. Nothing you want, fucker. I'd just like to point out that Ayla had recently taken out a loan from a friend where she had spent $800 of the loan in one day on the game. And I knew about it. Other people knew about it. But here we are. She'd also spent next to no money on Enjoy. But she has a lot of things in those gacha games. A lot of things. I'm not going to lie. I was fucking fuming when I heard this. I can't believe the audacity to talk shit about me after I had been driving them round non-stop for a week. And in Enjoy's case, it was even worse. Years of being his chauffeur. And he had never given me anything for it. And I get treated like I'm garbage and a bad friend. During this time, I'm venting towards Rob and some other friends via text in Discord. As Rob can't talk, and I obviously don't want to talk to either Enjoy or Ayla at this point. Now, I'm the kind of person, guys, where I need to vocally work things out. Face to face, chit chat, especially when I'm frustrated. So even though they were trying to calm me down, it just wasn't working. I had to speak out loud. I had to have that moment. I looked at the IRL friends Discord and saw that there was a couple of people there, but Enjoy wasn't. So I decided to jump in and talk to them, vocalize myself. As soon as I finished, they started to give me their input. Enjoy enters the call. I immediately left. And I got even more mad as one of my favourite avenues to talk about my problems was off and obscured to me. Obviously, Enjoy gets wind of what I'd been venting about, and the IRL friend group is simultaneously trying to calm him down and DMing me to relax. Rob and the other people are also trying to DM me to sort it out. It's all boiling up. I eventually settle down and I tell them I'm going to talk to them tomorrow or another day when I see myself being ready. But as I'm saying that we'll just leave it till tomorrow, okay? We'll sort it tomorrow. Let me cool off. Let me get in bed. I receive a fucking DM from Enjoy. Word for word. Mate, excuse me, if you's gonna talk shit to my face. Right? You little bitch. That was it. I couldn't contain myself anymore. I apologized to Rob. I came back on the Discord where Enjoy and the other people were. Now, Mike, I've got to provide you with a screenshot that my friends took as this conversation came to an end. But I want to be clear, when I joined this call, there was only 3 people in it. Apparently my friends had been calling their friends and woke them up just to come into the chat. All of you, all of you are just listening. Get the beers, lads, it's popping. Woo! Party time. Big party going on. I went into the voice channel and I raged. Before this point, I thought the phrase seeing red wasn't real and people didn't actually see red, but fucking hell, everything was red to me that night. I went at him for 5 minutes, yelling at the top of my lungs. My throat hurt. I called him out on his bullshit with the ride situation. I told him he's a fucking bitch for making us deal with his problems with Ayla and that he's a fucking cuck to stand up to his girlfriend. I insinuated that he does not deserve our friendship because he takes us for granted. He's overall, enjoy, you're a complete ungrateful bastard. I'm omitting a lot because, frankly, remembering it is embarrassing, but I will tell you I definitely called him a bitch a hell of a lot, and I dropped a lot of fuck yous. After this, I put down the call and just went and took a walk. Of course, my guildies were all making memes of the situation. Below is an example of the memes that literally happened 5 minutes after the run. 100% chance to dodge all proper advice. With enough practice, I'll be able to feel the advice coming before they're even giving. I just love that the guildies are so on board with it. Oh, they fucking love it, man. The guildies love it. The day after, he attempted to apologize to me. But unfortunately for him and me, it was one of those apologies that isn't a sorry, but more let's put it behind us and move on. No. I laughed at him and told him to give a real apology instead of just saying things to try and smooth it over. During this time, he'd of course gone to everybody else for advice, as Enjoy always did. And they'd called him, as they told me, that he was wrong. 100%. And a total bitch. He of course ignored them. He came back again 2 days later for yet another apology, but it wasn't really an apology again. Just saying we should really move on and forget about it. Naturally, as history has shown us, he ignored all of the advice. Didn't help the situation. At this point, I was done. I told him, look, I don't care if you say sorry. It's not or not because you don't want to. And what you're doing is fucking insane. And if you do want to apologize, do it because you want to. But obviously, that's not the way this is going. Apparently, after my response, he was done too. We stopped talking to everyone from the IRL friend group and the online group who knew what happened. Unfortunately, though, the story doesn't end there, of course. Oh, no. I had solidified myself. I was a big deal in the guild Discord for that mobile game. I had dropped some good money on it. To make things worse for them, Ayla had had enough and had relinquished leadership of the guild and give it to me and Rob. But she still was admin of the Discord server. I kept everything under wraps and I didn't tell anyone in the guild Discord of what had happened and we pretended that nothing had happened. This did not last long, as you can probably guess. People who had known what happened started making comments about gas money all the time. They would talk about paying for gas for even the simplest thing in the game. Would you help me do this? Are you going to pay for the gas? And so on and so forth. Paying for gas was slipped into literally every conversation. It wasn't too bad until one day someone changed their name on Discord to the name of Gas. Gas entered the channel and started posting memes about the situation. A couple of days later, the people from the IRL friend group were in a voice channel and a couple of channels above Ayla and Enjoy, and they're in the guild Discord. A lot of us joined into the channel with friends just to hang out and talk, all as well. Until the next day, we noticed that the channels are being removed. We're all eventually banned from the server. Naturally, this created a problem, as we were in charge of a guild, but we were now banned from our guild server. So we realized it's just Discord, so we just made a new server and told everybody where to go. Not many people from the guild server had known about the incident. They're on pretty good terms with Ayla and Enjoy. They've been fine in game. So I decided the best way forward was just to tell everyone that we had an argument and that we would like everyone to just leave it at that. But this is the internet. And the side effect of that was everyone that didn't know assumed that I had been the one to fuck things up. But over time, the memes and the memers just started to tell people what had happened, and eventually, the whole situation was made public. To this day, I'm still friends with everyone involved, with the exception, of course, of Ayla and Enjoy. I'll be honest, I really hope for his sake he breaks up with her and is able to reconcile with his friends at the very least. He cut everyone out, including his IRL friends who had nothing to do with the situation and were actually on his side. Despite everything that happened, if he's willing to apologize, I'm still willing to let bygones be bygones and maybe be friends again. Why? Why? What's why? Why? Oh my God. And stop giving everybody a lift all the time. Saying no is fine. Can you do that for me? No. That's fine. No. Thank you, Preacher, for reading my long ass story. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. That story is fucking infuriating. Well, ban for gas money? No. No. Just why? Ladies and gentlemen, that just brings to the end of drama time. Remember, Method versus Preach tomorrow. There'll be a post up on Twitter. I have 3 spots to give to Hordies on the EU. It'll be up later in about like a couple of hours or something. I'm going to go and enjoy some time with my kids. And then I'll put the event up. So if you want to join in the raid with me versus Method tomorrow, pay attention to Twitter in about a couple of hours' time. If you're not, but you want to watch it, we will be streaming it tomorrow night around 7 p.m. GMT. That's London time. We will be streaming the event so you can see whether or not we are successful or not. Also, 1 week from tomorrow, 8 days, web show, Christmas, drinking game, birthday, New Year's web show. Me and the Nibbler will be getting hammered and talking all that shit with you guys. That will be happening in 8 days at 8 p.m. GMT. That's London time here on the stream. I hope to see you there. It should be a lot of fun. Be good, ladies and gentlemen. I shall see you on Monday. Oh, tomorrow, actually. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.